Welcome to another video chock full of quarters.
Let's get collecting. Let's see what we got for quarters. Oh, look at that. Grab a handful of quarters and we're going to put it into the case. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video from
Chock full of quarters.
Before we get started, hit that subscribe button and notification bell, and at any point hit the thumbs up button. It really does help the channel.
Because we know you're going to like what you see in this video.
Hi, it's Tammy.
And Greg.
I just want to thank everybody for the kind words after I fell. I'm okay, I'm just really sore. Greg made me rest and did all the dishes and cooked all weekend for me, so I'm getting better. We want to talk about, well, you're watching Greg do the paper count, and it is actually the paper count. I've given up the iPhone, so we actually recorded this. So we want to talk about our competitors and how many there are in a 5-mile radius.
And we're going to start with, we have two small competitors, and what we call small, how we define it, is laundromats that have basically less than 10 dryers. That's what we're calling a small laundromat. So
so there is our main competitor, which is a half a mile as the crow flies from us. They're just about the same size. I believe they have 2 washers more than us, but the same amount of dryers. They have a huge homeless problem because they are walking distance from the largest shelter, and in the mornings they let them out. They kick them out at 6 a.m. and it's cold, so they head right for that laundromat and they hang out there all day. They bother their customers, and sometimes they take care of it and sometimes they don't. When our numbers go up, we know there's a problem up there.
Yeah, and we're totally okay with that because we believe in, as Sun Tzu says, if your enemy's making a mistake, don't interrupt him. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a philosophy we go by. The next laundromat is, I believe, is also the same size as us. They might be just a hair smaller, I believe, but they were brand new built. They were built about 4 years ago, and really nice laundromat. Everything is nice and shiny. They do have, they're unattended, but they have, I believe, a couple who come in and clean it twice a day, and they do a really good job. It's always clean there. But they have their own set of challenges. They are on the edge of the city in a small little town right over the line, and they have a horrible water problem. Their water is always brown. And from what I've heard, they've already gone through 3 water softeners, and we're not talking about these are our commercial water softeners and filters. Those systems cost like $20,000 a piece. And they've gone through like 3 of them already. I'm not sure what they're doing now. I haven't been up there in a while. But you have to remember or you have to know, I should say, the guy that owns this laundromat that Tammy's talking about. He owns about 90% of the laundromats in the entire city. So if this one is, not quite doing as well, it can certainly be supported by the other ones that are doing better.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's a laundromat that's right on the edge of the 5-mile mark. It's like north of us, I think.
Yeah, and it's I call it the dark place, or the dark side, because we were driving by it one night and the light, we thought that maybe they had a power outage. It was pitch black inside, or very close to it, and we drove by a few times. We finally drove a little closer one night, and we could see somebody inside. And at first I thought, they're being robbed or something, but you really can't rob a laundromat when there's nobody there. So we realized the guy inside was actually cleaning, and I have to wonder, how clean is the place actually going to get if you can't see what you're doing? Yeah, because it was dark.
It was very dark.
When we leave our place, we cut half the lights off, but you can still basically see inside. So the cops are going to know if there's somebody in there that's not supposed to be. This place was I mean, dark, so it can't be getting clean. And, again, Sun Tzu, go by that,
Yeah.
So,
The two smaller laundromats that we have, one of them is actually very close to ours, and quarter of a mile, I think, and it's really small. They have 8 dryers, I believe. He doesn't do all that well anymore, only because he's finding it hard to compete to us. So what he does is, he wants to be making the money again. He's upped his price. I mean, a small washer, he charges $6. Where the same size washer we have, it's $4. So, he's finding it hard to compete with us, and but he doesn't clean in there as much as we do. So, he has to do what he has to do, and but it's attached to a convenience store, and I don't think they'll ever go out of business, just because that store is actually supporting that laundromat.
yeah.
And then the other small one, they are, and I might save this story for later, they're a really good example as to why you really need to research owning a laundromat. And I'll have to go into that one. That was a pretty interesting story. I feel bad for the person who just purchased it a couple years ago, because even the owner, the guy who bought it before him, I think he realized very quickly that he had made a mistake. So maybe I'll save that one. That's actually a good story.
Yeah.
We'll save that one. But so the last one we're going to talk about is a competitor of ours, and I'll tell you, when we purchased our laundromat, I had put into our sales agreement a no compete clause of 5 miles. And the reason I did that was because the man we were buying it from, him and his father, owned the local laundromat repair place, and also they were distributors for Wascomat, Hips, who else were they? Ipso. They were a distributor for Ipso, and a few other people. So they also, when anybody wanted to build a laundromat, they were the ones that came and did it.
Yeah.
And so his father had been in the business for 50 years, had just about built every single laundromat in this city and a little bit further out. So, if you're in the business, you just don't get out of the business sometimes. I kind of had a feeling that I should probably put this in there. And it was a good thing that I did, because, I don't know, we had been odd. And he thought it was an odd request that I had asked. And at first I think I said no compete in the city, the whole city. And he laughed at me, and I said, okay, 5 miles. And he kind of reluctantly agreed, but he did it. So there's this laundromat, and we had heard that it had sold, and that this man, the previous owner, had bought it. And I was like, that's interesting. So we had stopped into their shop because I needed a part anyway. And I wanted to see if he would tell us that he bought it. So we went there, and we picked up our part, we paid for it, and we'd been there about 10-15 minutes, and he didn't say anything. And so I finally said, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I heard that this laundromat had sold. And he looked at me and gave me this quizzical look, oh, like, really? And then his brother, Benny, who was always there, because he has a disability, always went to work with his dad, and Benny just bubbly Benny, he just pipes up, oh yeah, it did, and he bought it, pointing, to the previous owner. And I was like, oh, congratulations, I already knew this information, but the reason I even congratulated him and tried to act somewhat surprised was because I think he knew that I knew that he was pretty close to breaking our clause.
Yeah.
Because
he was right on the edge.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, what was the distance?
It was 5.01
yeah.
from our front door to... It went to the 5 mile radius.
We used Google Earth, and it was...
The radius thing.
It was... The line went through his parking lot. And... It was close.
And because it was a shared parking lot, we found out that we would have had to have done it to either the sidewalk or to his front door, but it was so close. I mean, it was just slivers. And but he never brought it up again. He never brought it up, and but I think he knew by the look I had given him, like, yeah, I know, and you're close. because we were starting to find out things about this laundromat. I mean, we were at a point where we were like, you've got to be kidding me. And we are going to do a whole video on what to look for when you're looking at laundromats, because there are ways of hiding things from you. There are things that you would have never suspected, just would have never suspected that you needed to know about owning that laundromat. And it's how people hide things, how to read their numbers, and yeah, there's lots of things to look up for. And that's going to be, we promise that video, and I think that's going to be a really good video to wait for. But we wanted to talk about just what it's like, you know, with our competitors.
And him being, we got to say, ultimately, the guy we bought from being a competitor, we were actually kind of cool with, because we saw the way he ran the laundromat that we had bought and what we had to do to make it better. And we were like, I'm happy to have this guy being my competitor. Yeah. Because that means he's going to make horrible mistakes and decisions.
Yes. And he does. He doesn't. He's back to what they had a philosophy. Their business was ran on build it and they will come. Not a great philosophy to run your laundromat business by, or any other business, because any kind of business you have to work at. Anybody who tells you don't have to work at owning a laundromat is lying to you. There is work, you know, or you can own a laundromat and not do anything, and you know you'll
make a little bit, but not much.
Not much. You know, for the first year you'll make a little bit, but not enough to run off. You know, to sell it and run off with. Yeah. Because if you don't take care of your laundromat and you don't continuously build your profits, nobody is going to want to buy it after that. Yeah.
And you might think it's, as a truism in business, something is only worth what somebody's willing to give you for it.
That's right.
You can claim I got a $500,000 business. If nobody's willing to give you that, then you don't have a $500,000 business.
That's correct. Yeah. And so those are our competitors. In a 5-mile radius in the whole city, there are 21 laundromats. We consider them competitors because we have customers who come from the furthest point of the city to us, because they like us. They like that, you know, they find value at our laundromat compared to what they're getting on their side of town. So, which is nice. We love to hear things like that from our customers. And even though we are a unattended laundromat, I still have contact with my customers. I like to hear the stories from them. I like to hear, good things when they say good things about us, and when they tell me bad things, because you have to listen to the bad. You know, there are people who will complain just to complain, but a lot of my customers, like I tell my customers, if you don't tell me there's a problem, I can't fix it. And, you know, they all look at me when I say that, and I said, it's true. You know, if you lose $2 and you don't tell me about it, that's on you. Yeah. You call and tell me you lost $2. Okay, I'm going to get you your $2 back, and I'm going to fix that, whatever the problems are going on. So I think that's wrapping up Greg Counting. And anything else?
Remember to subscribe and hit that like button. So hit the subscribe button right now, and hit that like button right now.
And don't forget to hit the bell to be notified of all of our videos. There will always be a guaranteed 2 videos a week. We're doing the collection video, and then we do the paper count video, and then we get to tell a story on this other one. We had just done that bonus video the other day, and we did that because Greg and I were just kind of sitting around, and we're like, oh, we should do a video of this, and we got to make that fun video and make money at the laundromat. So when, everybody talks about passive income, when we got to sit around, because we're enjoying this, we are really enjoying making these videos, and we made money at the same time. So that's how the passive income comes in, is when you get to do the things that you enjoy while you're still making money. So we're going to,
but it's really not passive.
It's not.
Yes, but we say that, but be aware. It's not passive. There is work.
There is work, and we're going to do a whole other video on passive income and how passive this really is. But what I wanted to say was, there will be 2 videos every week, and we're changing things up. So remember, every time you watch one of our videos, you have to watch for the code word that pops up to enter into the comments to be entered to win the can of quarters. Every video will have a new code word, so you have to watch the video. And we're going to try maybe every other week doing a bonus video, or who knows, we might have one every week. I'm not sure yet. But we enjoyed doing it, so we're actually thinking about getting that third video in. But remember, so if you want to enter to be for the chock full of quarters contest, make sure you're a subscriber and you watch for the code word and put it in the comment sections for that video.
Remember, you have to be a subscriber to win.
Yep.
So hit that button and enter the code word.
Great.
All right.
So we'll see y'all later. Bye.
See you. Bye. Hey, I'm glad you're still here. The code to win these quarters is coming up.